welcome on in. My name is Anika and this is Adobe Live. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you all are joining here today. Sorry for that echo. Thank you so much for being here. This is Adobe Express and we're gonna dive into flyer design today. So I'm really excited about that. Let me know if you can see me, hear me okay. And yeah, we're having some issues earlier, but here we are, like a minute late or like 30 seconds. But thank you for being here. We're gonna design a jazz event flyer. I love jazz music. Let me know in the chat if you are joining on Behance. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have bit.ly/Adobe Express YouTube. Thank you so much for being here and watching all the replays and everything on demand. Um, let's see. I see that the audio is very, very low, but let me know if you can hear me now. Let's see. This should probably fix it, and I really can't uh, make it louder than this, but let me know if this fixes stuff. This should actually fix stuff. Let me know. I was having some kind of issues, but let me know if I can let me see. Cool. All right, let's see here. Hello, can you hear me now? Is this better? I think this should be better. This should definitely, certainly be better. Okay, let's actually dive into it. I am going to jump into my screen and show you how stuff looks like. So, this is my Adobe Express stream. I have express.adobe.com. I think you should be able to hear me, to be honest. I am like at a lot of gain. Um, Let me know if you can hear me okay now. I think it should be good now. It shows me that it's doing perfectly fine, but I can bump it up. Cody, let me know. I just like messaged you. Let me know if this is fine. But this is Adobe Express. We have express.adobe.com, and this is where you can find everything that you are posting. So there are templates right over here at the top. There's this plus button, and you can go ahead and find everything. There are a lot of quick actions that I really, really like. I am going to create two designs today. So I'm going to make something from scratch, which is going to be like a jazz event flyer. And then we're going to also jump into templates. So let's actually go and create a new project. I'm going to click the plus button. Before we actually dive into it, I'm going to go to color.adobe.com and fonts.adobe.com as well. Let's go to color.adobe.com. And here we are. This is surprising because I did not know that you can get Adobe colors, like the colors from Adobe Color into Adobe Express. And literally, like, I had no idea that this was a thing, and I went into Adobe Color just to find like a jazz color palette, and this is what I saw, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting because you can now use Adobe Color on the free Adobe Express app, and that's amazing. You can add curated color combinations to your Adobe Express projects and swap them out. So you can click on how to add colors, and it's going to help you understand how you can add these colors. So we have this. I'm going to cover this tomorrow in tomorrow's stream where we have another one. And you can also see that there are fonts, like on fonts.adobe.com. There's this new edition where you see all the fonts featured in the Adobe Express templates. I think that's super amazing because you can actually go ahead and click view more right over here, and you can see all of the fonts that are in the Adobe fonts on the Adobe fonts website, and you can see all of these fonts being featured. And I feel like that's amazing because you can just, like, if I want to make something for Christmas, I can just click on that link from the fonts website, and this is what I see. Like, I can literally go in with one click and edit it out. But that's like a snippet, like a sneak peek of whatever's new, and how you can access Adobe fonts. So this is what we have. Let's go ahead and click plus and get a new design. Let's get a new design started. So I am actually going to create maybe a custom size graphic because I have the ability to do that in Adobe Express. I love that that's a possibility. The width is going to be 1080 because we're designing this for Instagram. So I have the height to be 1350, 4 by 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and maybe like look for a shape or something, right? Or maybe like I just want to add like a text background, like a text. So I'm going to click add your text and I just want jazz here, okay? So I have jazz right over here. And I'm going to make it bigger. We have this, and I'm probably going to make it like black in color just so that I can see. I also did not say hi to the chat. So if you are watching, again, if you're watching this live, thank you for being here, and thank you for modding, Cody, and thanks for letting me know about the audio. Thank you, Oliver, Garrett, Kevin, Andreas. We have so many friends in the chat. Thanks for being here again. Okay, if you have any favorite jazz music, let me know in the chat. I want to know what your jazz music is while we're creating this. Okay, so this is what we have, right? But I want it to be like gradients and fun stuffs because this is gonna be like on digital and like social media. So I want it to have like very fun gradients in the background. Let me go ahead and search like a background which is gradient. I bet you've never seen this trick before. So this is like the backgrounds that we're using. This is the gradient background. This one with like the crown icon right here is the premium background. You can see that I'm a premium member, so I'm able to access all the premium assets as well. But no worries if you're using the free version of the app because all of the other ones over here that do not have the crown symbol are actually free to use if you have a stock, like if you can access like Adobe Express. And so I'm gonna use something which doesn't have a premium. Okay. So this is like the one that doesn't have, like, I love these colors. These colors look amazing. And what I want is essentially that I want the text to have the gradient, and instead of like the background, I just want the text to have it. So essentially I want to mask it out with like the colors of the background, right? Can I do that in Adobe Express? Let me know in the chat if you know I can do that. And I can do that. So let's demonstrate how you can mask your text in Adobe Express. So we have right over here, I'm going to add a shape to this guy, and I'm going to go here. Maybe I want something like a circular shape and see how that looks like. And maybe I want this to be like, I'm just going to keep it black for now. And while I have that selected, there's this button right over here called mask text. I'm going to click that, and this is what happens. And that's amazing because now the color of the text is essentially being masked out, and we see the background through it. So if I move this around on the screen anywhere, it's just going to show me the background behind it, which is like masked by the text. So I can go ahead and change the color of the shape around it, and this is what we get. If as and when I increase the size of it, it's going to take up the place of like everything that we have around. So maybe this could be like a cover, or this could be like a teaser of the jazz festival that's going to happen. But let me size it down, and I'm going to increase like how far it goes around the masking text. And I just like increase the size. I can move it around anywhere on my canvas, and we have this fun stuff going on. Now I want to decrease, maybe want to keep it like right over here with some like edges because I don't want my text to get cut off when I post it to social media. So let's go to shapes. I am going to add a basic shapes. We have tons and tons of shapes in Adobe Express. You can go to the basic shapes panel and you can see so many fun shapes. I'm going to select a rectangular shape right over here. Maybe make the color to be black again. This is my current color palette. And then I'm going to move it here, extend it out. Didn't mean to do that. Extend it out here and maybe something like so. I'm going to add another one just so that I can hide these edges as well. So I have this guy, and then I'm just doing this to get like a perfectly black shape right here so that I can post text on top of that. So just like so, I have something already going on here. Are your name in the chat? Hi, thank you for joining. Says mass test text is great. I did not know you could do that. Yeah, Adobe Express is amazing. I did not know you could do that for the longest time. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is so good because this solves so many issues that I was having. So yeah, that is what we did. And I'm gonna add another text box here and say festival because I don't want a shape here. So I'm just gonna keep that out, and then I'm gonna say festival. Okay. And you can add anything that you want. um, Steve is talking about Jazz Fest in Vancouver and Montreal. That's pretty cool. I love it. I actually go to jazz nights a lot, so I just thought I'll design something for all of my favorite bands. And like I have these shapes, and I can bring it like right above here. I feel like the spacing between these needs some help, so I'm gonna click out of it. I'm gonna bring it down just like a little bit, just so that it's legible at a smaller scale. Because you have to keep in mind that this is for phones, so it's essential that you have to think about how it's going to look like on a phone screen. Ideally, when that happens, what I typically do is export it out of Adobe Express and then bring it out to my phone and see how that looks. And you don't even need to export it out from the desktop. You can use the mobile app and then export it to your Instagram and see how that looks instead of essentially going in every single time, right? So I'm going to come back in and come here and see what's going on. So festival looks cool. I think I want to change the font in here. So I'm going to go to my font recommendations panel because that's what is important here, because I don't really need to do anything when I have the font recommendations. It's all synced up with Adobe fonts. So I really don't need to think about choosing the font, and it's just going to, AI is just going to select the font for me depending on what kind of text I have. I can click the show more button right over here, and that's going to show me more fonts. We have some serifs as well. I think I'm gonna go with this one just because like this is very simple. I really like the emphasis on the colors of the jazz, and I think that looks good. Okay, let's actually bring it up like so. I think I really like it. I'm really liking how this is looking. Tyrone and Kieran, thank you so much for joining. I'm just like keeping an eye on chat just in case you have any questions. If you are joining on YouTube, let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to answer them. So I'm gonna go in here with the shape. Actually, let me just extend this out. So if I go to my layers panel, you will be able to see that the background is the one that I have, and I can still go ahead and replace it with any other, just in case my client comes in tomorrow and says, "Oh, I do not like the pinks in the background, so let me go ahead and replace it." Because there are tons and tons of like background gradients to choose from. I can just go ahead and make this blue, and now it's a blue jazz festival. And you can also make multiple variations of the same thing depending on what your event is. So, say that you have 5 nights in your jazz festival, you can essentially go ahead and say that, oh, one is blue, one is white, one is purple and pinks, like all of the fun stuff. You can essentially go and change that depending on color. You can make themes for fall, you can make holiday themes, because jazz festival is something that can happen multiple times. And so this is essentially like you can make multiple variations of the same thing, and there is like multiple pages feature that I'm gonna jump into right now, and then I'm going to show you how that works. So let's say this is from 21st to 30th. Okay, so that's it's like a 9-day festival because 9 people are performing. And cool. We have, I don't know if Umakon has a question. Umakon, let me know. I missed your question. Let me know if you have a question in chat. Okay, and then we have this guy right over here. I'm gonna maybe add like a design asset or a shape. Let's go ahead and look for shapes here. Okay, so I'm gonna write jazz and see what comes up. Let's see. Okay. Maybe like a trumpet. I don't know. A saxophone. I really like this shape, so I'm gonna go in here. Actually, you know what? I just got an idea. I don't know if I can mask shapes. That would be cool. That would ideally be cool. Okay, and then I have like this guy. Maybe we'll add it here on top, and then I'm gonna bring these shapes right over here. I'm gonna bring this shape right over here. Maybe like size it down just a little bit. We have this guy, and I love that we are making it more accessible. So even though like we have so many like friends in chat who are saying that, oh, this is like easy, it is easy, and that's the whole idea behind it, because you can essentially go in, and anybody with no design experience or people who have actually been trying to mask stuff, this is like an easy way to do it. You don't have to go ahead in Illustrator and make your own gradient, because so many, like, just like work smarter not harder, there are so many gradients in here that you can essentially use. And that's why I don't really need to do any of this. So I'm actually going to go in here and maybe like change a color. The suggested color palette is picking up colors from the background gradient. So I'm going to select this guy. Maybe I want it to be a slightly darker color, so I'm going to leave that be. And maybe I want to also add like a website, and I want to add like where it's happening. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Um, Muendwa says, how do you balance a content on a poster or a flyer? So I am thinking about where, like, how I want the audience's eye to move. This is like an element that I added, which is like the trumpet, because I wanted it to signify like, hey, this is a jazz festival, right? And then I decided that, oh, I needed color. So that is like, that's how my eye is moving, because like the emphasis on the logo essentially here, which is a jazz festival. And then think about what kind of things you want to add on your flyer, right? So you think about the time, you think about the place, you think about the website. If you have a QR code, add that. If you have anything else, you add those things as well. So I'm gonna actually hit enter right over here. Maybe something like this. I'm not sure. Okay. Kevin in the chat says masking a shape should be a new feature. Yeah, masking a shape should be a new feature. You can actually go to user voice and add that, but I will let them know. I am an Adobe Express ambassador, so if you have any feedback for me, or anything that you would like to see, let me know. Okay, I think I really like this shape. Okay, Maybe just to like balance it out, I'm just gonna say this is from 20th to 30th. Okay, let's bring it here really quickly. So we have this guy, and then I also want to add where is how I can like when is it? So maybe it's like 20th to 30th June. Okay, so I am gonna go in here, create a copy, and then I'm gonna double click into it, and then I'm just gonna say June. So we have this guy. Maybe I want to size it down, and then I want to change the color to the suggested color palette. So I'm just going to choose this, and then we have this. Okay. I don't think I like the hyphen in here, but we're going to let that be just for now. Omicron in the chat says it wasn't a question, but it'd be nice if there was a preview option in Express, like the pop-up live view for screens in XD. I'm not sure what you're talking about. There is a grid view where if you have multiple pages, you can see. I think that's like a preview mode here. So if I go ahead and add like a duplicate page right over here, it is essentially gonna show me, and if I go to the grid view, it's gonna show me all the pages in this project, which is kind of like a preview mode, right? The preview mode would, if you mean like an emulator for an iPhone or that, then that's definitely different. But I'm gonna like align this. Let me actually group these two. So I'm gonna group this right over here, and then I can align it to festival. And then I want to do the same to these guys, right? So I'm gonna group it again, and then I'm going to bring it down. So this is the basic information we have. And maybe I want to add like a website in here. We're going to do that later because we're short on time and wasted some time earlier. But I'm going to go ahead and resize this our content to Instagram stories. So if I have something like this, now everything is haphazard because we changed like how this looked. So I'm going to extend this out really quickly. We have this shape. I can extend this out really quick. And maybe I can bring this down just like so. Give me a second. We have something here, and yeah, this is essentially how you can resize your content for multiple social platforms. This is Instagram that I did for now. Maybe I can change the positioning. Maybe I want to bring it down so you can add some variation to your design. I can hold shift and bring it down right here, and then I can like move this up depending on where you want your things to go, right? I can also rotate this using this guy. Let's actually bring it back up over here. I can bring it like so, and this is how you have like something which is essentially the same design, but this was for Instagram post, this is to Instagram stories. But what if I want to add like a similar design to something else? So maybe this is like a Facebook thing. I click the plus button again, it's going to duplicate the design, and this is where you go into resize, and you can call it like a Facebook design, and this is where we have something else. I can extend this out anywhere I want. I'm going to do that. I can bring this out right here. I am going to bring it just like a little bit on the left. We have jazz right here. I'm going to bring festival in here. And then I can change the size of this as well. So I have this guy, and then I can like bump it up. This can have like a lineup of all the people that are performing. So essentially, this will show that, oh, this is an extended flyer where I can essentially see who's performing and what are the bands. And so this may have like names of the flyers, right? So this is essentially how you can design something from scratch, and this is like how you can resize it from multiple platforms. Let me know if you have any questions so far. I'm gonna go ahead to the home page. Essentially, I'm gonna rename this project and call it Jazz Fest. And then I'm gonna go back to home. Everything on the web app is essentially on the fly, so you don't have to go ahead and save it. Creative Cloud is actually saving it for you, and I love that. I can go ahead and also create something from a template, so you don't have to do anything from scratch. I just did that because I wanted to mask the text and have a gradient background. But I can go in here, and there are tons and tons of jazz festival. I really like this one. There are some other ones as well. There's this one with like images in the background. Ooh, the morning coffee jazz. I love it. Miles Davis in the morning. And we have something in here as well. There's Jazz Night, International Jazz Day. I did not know 30th of April was Jazz Day, but we have all of these fun things. Let's actually pick this one and start from it and see how you can change a template into jazz, like a flyer design, right? So this is super cool because this is moving your eye to the text in here. I can go ahead and change the color. I can also apply a brand if I have any. I feel like this info might be a little too close to the edge of the design. So we have this color. Maybe we can make it white or whatever to add like a variation. We have various venues throughout the city. Maybe this can also be a different color just so that we add some variation to the design. I think I really like this design as is, but I can essentially change the resize, like resize it for various social platforms as well, or add a different page if I want. So I can choose the same size. I have Instagram, Instagram stories, Facebook, letter, poster, and custom size if you wanted to create something of your own. I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna look at chat just in case we have any questions. I am gonna look at it. Interesting. Okay. Just looking at chat to make sure if there are any questions. I do not like this color, and I also don't like the color of this guy. So maybe we can like find a different color, right? I'm gonna go in here and then I'm gonna find like different color. Yeah. I think this looks kind of nice. I don't like the white. I'm gonna undo that just because I don't like the white in here. So I'm just gonna like, it's so easy to use the color picker and do this because I don't essentially have to go anywhere to find these colors, right? I thought I would go to color.adobe.com, but Adobe Express has that inbuilt. And so I don't really have to go anywhere else. It's just like so efficient for me. And now that I did add that color, I can go ahead and select the same color from here. But I think this will be more legible if I make it white just because the contrast is really nice. And so I have this right over here. I can click duplicate page button and again do the same thing, resize for whatever you want and like whatever social profile you choose. So I can make like a page cover design. This is what I have. Obviously, the sizing is a little bit messed up because I changed the size of the canvas, but this is what we have, right? I'm gonna make sure that we are covering all of this, and then you can essentially. So I'm gonna go back to my projects and show you what we created. So let's see, this is what we had, right? And we created this guy. So I'm going to create Jazz Fest and then I'm going to go in here and show you how you can actually post it to multiple social platforms. So this is for Instagram posts. We have Instagram stories. And of course, you're going to add more information. This is not how the complete design is going to look like, but we're just like showing you how you can do stuff. Umukon really likes the stripes. Thank you so much. You can have variations in here as well. So there are like design variations based on the design that you have already created in Express. So you can go in here and click on any of these to see how this will look. I'm gonna click this just for fun, and that's not what I expected. Okay, I'm gonna go here, which is the scheduling your post to social media, and that is super important when you're creating something for multiple social profiles. When you do that, you see the Adobe Express scheduler, and this is where you can actually post these to your multiple channels. I have Twitter, I have Instagram, and then we have Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn as well. I did not know they added LinkedIn. That's cool. I always wanted to post stuff to LinkedIn from here. Like LinkedIn is like that kind of thing where you would not go but you would like to. But okay, so we have all text in here capabilities as well. So I'm gonna cover content scheduler tomorrow. We are really cutting it close today, but you can add alt text in here as well. So this image is for a jazz festival. Maybe that's my alt text in here, and then I can save it. And then you can publish your mobile app because I have a creator account. I don't have a business account, so that's why it's giving me that. And you can go into the preview mode and see how that's gonna look. This is a great way, Omicron. I know Sean in the chat mentioned it. This is a great way that you can see how your post is actually going to look like without exporting it. So I feel like this looks pretty cool. That brings us to a close. Sorry, wow, choked. That brings us to a close of the stream today. Thank you so much for being with me and bearing with some technical difficulties we had earlier. Thanks for being here. I hope you understood and learned how to get started with Adobe Express, making flyer designs from scratch, even from templates. And it's so easy that you can do this just so quickly from within Express. You don't need to go out anywhere to fetch colors, fonts, any style assets. All of it is inbuilt in Adobe Express, and I love that. You can, of course, use Creative Cloud libraries if you really wanted something of a personal touch or add logos or brands from Illustrator. But that brings us to a close. Come back tomorrow because tomorrow I'm designing Instagram reel covers, and I know everybody is just making reels. So come back tomorrow for more Instagram and social media content with Adobe Express, and we'll be covering all of that. Stick around for Jesus Ramirez up next on the Adobe Live YouTube channel. And again, if you are just joining us, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below the video. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment in the replay. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be here tomorrow. Bye for now.